Well, for those of you who don't know, who are going to see this late, I had a glitch. I had a real glitch. I've been having connection problems with an old laptop, bought a new one, and had my live all set up. And then my people couldn't hear me because my microphone was on mute. And so my muse, that place in here where I listen to my own thoughts, it said, well, Ruth, hey, the topic was what just happened. Doesn't matter as much as what you do next. I said, oh, I guess the teacher needs to learn the lesson, right? So I said to myself, okay, girl, we got this. Let's do this. So I chose to sit in my feelings. I sat in my feelings. I took a few deep breaths and I said, let's practice what we preach. Let's practice knowing why you're here, knowing that you have something to say, knowing that you prepared what you have to say, and put it out there for the people who want to hear it. So I want to tell you, thank you if you came back. Thank you. My cousin Nancy, she's always here for me. Nancy's back. Noel's back. Erica, my dear Erica is back. And we're going to do this thing. Okay? We're going to do this thing. What I started with was two statements that are coming up a lot for me now. And I decided to share them with you as a launch. Give me a high sign if you've heard them before. When you live it long enough, you'll understand it. You got to live long enough to really understand it. Anybody heard that one? There's another one that I'm saying a lot lately. It's, I can show you better than I can tell you. I can show you better than I can tell you. These are sayings that I believe are important for me to start with because they speak to the topic tonight. What you do next, what you say next, matters more than what just happened. We've all, everybody who's on here and anybody that listens again at another time, has lived life's lessons, been in situation after situation where you say what's appropriate, you say what comes up next for you, you say what you've been saying that always works, or you do what always has worked. And you find that these situations repeat themselves. That's the beauty of me being a modern elder, where I can say for sure, there are so many things about life that the first time is just preparing you for the next time it comes up. And when you learn what's there to learn in the situation and you really take it in, you have the opportunity to apply what you learned the next time it comes up. But a lot of times we don't do that. A lot of times we just celebrate our accomplishments, we mourn the losses, and we don't work on forgiving ourselves or the people who've been in the situations. What we're here to talk about tonight is, where's the opportunity? Miss Ruth says, learning how to live in the gap. Learning, and all of y'all do it. I know that. We all do it. We go through the situation, the feelings, the reactions. And as we live longer and we have more opportunities, especially those of us who are committed to continuing to learn, to live, and to be better at how we show up. How, what I call, that Miss Ruth calls, how I do me. How you learn to do you. You learn to be your authentic self with time and with looking at and thinking about, I really want to change. I want to plan and I want to continue to grow. And that becomes a part of, for people who are truly committed to being authentic, it becomes a part of what you do until you pass on, till you transition. In order to do that, in order to have greater acceptance of making mistakes, of getting greater clarity, you begin to take time and be thoughtful. You learn to take time and to ask yourself, what just happened? And when you learn what just happened, you can also learn, I ain't doing that again. I'm not doing that again. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not doing that again. That place of what just happened, and do I really want to do that again, is the gap. That's the place. The gap. That's the place where, as you get older, as you live more situations, you give yourself permission to say, I'm going to take a little bit of moment here, a little bit of time before I say or do anything. And what happens in that space is you find a place of being comfortable, waiting to do, to say, or maybe to not do, not say anything. That's a space. That's a space where there's so much opportunity that we don't often, while we're learning it, while we're in the flow of life. Life is lifing. That gap can become a place of greater wisdom. Let me give you some examples. I'm going to give you one of mine where, and I speak of this often, so it's not news to you all. I talk about aging friends. I talk about deciding what I have the energy for before I make the call, how long I'm going to talk, knowing certain things are going to be said after having sat through that conversation enough time, and how am I going to reply? If we have adult children, if we have a sister, a spouse, there are times when you've said all you have to say, you've been to counseling, You have taken up plans, strategies based upon advice from others, based upon counseling with your spiritual guide, leader, minister, and you get to a place where you say, I don't think anything is going to change here. The situation, the person, or me. I've done all I know how to do, and I'm ready to maybe try something different. That's where Miss Ruth says, do you? Or that's where Miss Ruth says, try this thought for whomever's in the situation. You may not even have to say it. You may just have to live it. That thought, that message is, I can show you better than I can tell you. Sometimes it's not about a word, a message, a new plan. As we age, as we get through life's different situations, opportunities, challenges, there begins to be a new priority about what you do or don't do. For me, it's, I don't want to keep doing this for the rest of my life because I got other things I'd like to accomplish. Or, yeah, I could fly there for a weekend or not, because I know how long it takes my body to recover at this stage of my life. So, no, I'm not going to do it. And I'm cool with that. That becomes part of the decision tree of, I can show you better than I can tell you. So you don't say anything, you just do you. You live you. And that, the beauty of that, the true beauty of that is, as you start doing you in a way that is loving, not angry, where you let yourself be comfortable between what happened and what you do or say next, waiting until you hear that message of clarity. Some people might call it your soul, your inner guide, God. For the purposes of this chat, this conversation, I'm calling it sitting in the gap. Sitting in the place of getting comfortable. Because what happens when you allow yourself time to be comfortable with how you're going to handle what's next with its consequences, you start to hear yourself talking to yourself. Like I just said when I started, Miss Ruth said, Ruth, you're getting ready to teach. You're getting ready to teach that what just happened is not as important as what you do next. So, girl, why don't you just go ahead and do this live? And who shows up will be the people who are going to show up. That's living in the gap, you guys. That's listening. That's releasing those feelings. I was stressed. I was frustrated. I felt defeated. I felt guilt. What should I have done different? I had done all kinds of prep. And there I was with a microphone not working. And here I am now on the other side of that gap, talking to you, listening to what I have prepared for you, coming through very clearly. I took you inside the gap with me. I sit in the gap with some of you. I sit in the gap with you often. Others of you, let's talk about the gap. If you haven't been there with me, we're going to go there now. We're going to talk about that space where that part of you that is intentional about who you are and how you are committed to living this life. In that place, there are feelings, there are thoughts, there are choices. The pressure for you to do something or say something is a power that you can let sweep over you, or you can lean into it. That's the gap. That's the place where calm can come, does come, and it gives you a presence of mind to be ready for what you say or do, whatever the consequences are, or to not do anything and let those consequences emerge. If you are a person of action, in terms of self-care, in terms of wanting to bring the best of love, of consistent, healthy growth, you will do that. If you're a person who struggled with anger, a sense of retribution, of wanting to get back, you'll live with those choices. The beauty of what I'm saying to you is that that place becomes a place of comfort, of clarity, where even when you ride that roller coaster of emotion, you can take some deep breaths and you can say, I'm going to sit with this till I'm ready. One of the things that gets more clear, the longer you learn to sit with it, is that the other people around you are learning something new about you. They're witnessing something in you and through you. When you bring down the energy in yourself, it brings down the energy in the situation. They think, wait a minute, she's not saying anything. Wait a minute, what's happening? That's an example, my dears, of I can show you better than I can tell you. Okay? Or let's go to the other one. Some things you just got to live long enough to truly understand. So I've talked as much as I can talk. I've made as many plans as I can make to offer. Let's just let you learn some of the things that come with life. That's a word, that's a message, that's truth. I call it learning to live in the gap. because it neutralizes it. For any of you who play music, have learned music, who sing, there's a term called the rest. It's a music term. And when you use very well the rest in a piece of music, it brings the harmony and the flow of the music into the meaning for you and for what the composer intended for you. So learning to rest in the space, or learning to trust. Many of you have learned how to live in the space. I know you have. Being comfortable in the space and being able to watch what's going on around you from that same place of peace, comfort, and confidence. Honey, that's power. That is power. People make changes that they hadn't intended to make because you stopped being consistent in how you related to them. You bring change that requires from everyone else in the situation an adjustment, an adaptation, a new normal. And baby, all you doing is just doing you. How about that? Do you. Be you. Understand you. And get to know the comfort and the beauty that what you choose next matters than what already happened. So I'm going to look down here at the comments, you guys, and see if anybody has any questions, any comments, any reactions that you want to drop on me before we sign out. Erica just said amen. Cousin Nancy said yes. Noel said yep. And I'm so glad I made it back. Thank you. I got a thumbs up over here. This is living your intentional, authentic self. Thank you, my dears, for hanging with me through this. Thank you for riding this roller coaster of emotion to get this Miss Ruth Live done. I appreciate you. Thank you. Be well. Send me messages through our community chat if you have any more questions or comments. And share my videos. Share my videos with those who might want to hear Miss Ruth Wisdom, the message from a modern elder. Thank you.